Hello, BookTube. I have another tag for you today. I found it on Heartful of Books, and it's called the Book Struggles tag. And my only complaint with it is that it's only 8 questions long. Somebody needs to do a much expanded version of this. We have many struggles in the book world, don't we? But I definitely have opinions on the ones that are listed. The first one being book number one, a book you spent way too much money on. Back in the days when I spent money on books, the foremost candidate that came to my mind was something I've mentioned on this channel before, the David Wamersley version of Edward Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, which Viking Penguin came out with. The first thing they did was an oversized, elaborate box case 3-volume thing that was just so beautiful that I had to have it. At the time, I worked in a bookstore. I was not a reviewer at the time. I didn't have the ability to, call up a publicist and say, "Hey, send that to me." So I had to buy it, even though I know Gibbon backwards and forwards and didn't need an extra edition. Certainly could have waited for the paperback. And Penguin ended up, of course, doing a paperback 3-volume Penguin Classics of his version of The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. But I couldn't wait. So I got the hardcover set, don't have it anymore. Got the paperback set, don't have it anymore. Sic transit Gloria Mundi. But anyway, I still remember it because it was a fair amount of money. Question number 2: a book you read while you were very sleepy. I like to give books my full attention. So if I'm feeling very sleepy, I tend to just grab the nearest dog and cuddle. It's a much better use of sleepy time. Question number 3: a book or series you took way too long to read. Now, I'm reading the question here as saying took too long to get around to reading, rather than took too long to get through. Because the second really doesn't apply to me, but the first one does, and it's another thing I've mentioned on this channel before. It's it's Patrick O'Brien's Aubrey and Maturin novels, his novels of the Napoleonic seafaring adventures of Captain Jack Aubrey and his best friend and ship's surgeon, Stephen Maturin, which I had recommended to me many times from impeccable sources, and I ignored those. I just ignored them. I don't know why. The series is amazingly good, just amazingly good, and also infinitely revisitable. I will be reading it for the rest of my life. So I'm a little sorry that I didn't start sooner, but then again, the fact that I started late meant that I didn't have to go through the agony of waiting for the next book. By the time I started, he was dead, and everything that we're going to get, we already had. So there's a tiny silver lining there. Question number 4: a new release you've been meaning to buy but haven't yet. Almost did a classic comedy movie spit take. Buy new releases? Oh my god. Let's move on. That's too horrifying to contemplate. Question number 5: a book you made excuses to read. I don't understand the question. Who would I make excuses to? And why would I make excuses? Since I don't understand the question, I obviously don't understand something about the question, so I'm just going to move on. Question number 6: a book you wish you didn't buy because you ended up not liking it. Now, this I've mentioned on this channel before. One of the types of new books that I still buy in the bookstore are mass market paperbacks of new Star Trek adventures, especially new Star Trek adventures of the original cast, the original Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Uhura. I get them, all of them. I get them as they come out, and I dutifully read them. And they're $9, and I always regret spending that money because they're almost always terrible, just boring. They read like they were written by a computer algorithm rather than by a writer. And when the ones that read like they were written by writers read like they were written by writers who had, as I'm sure is true, a studio looking over their shoulder, making sure they do this, that, or the other thing, or don't do this, that, or the other thing. It's very, very bland corporate fiction, and but I can't stop because my crew, my enterprise, is never going to have another adventure other than in this form. No one's ever going to make a movie of that when they can make a movie of, adapted in the new J.J. Abrams universe, or make a new Star Trek altogether. These rumors that a new Star Trek series is coming that won't have anything to do with my cast and crew, and probably won't be set in that universe. I read the books. I can't stop. I've been with Star Trek fiction from the beginning, from the very beginning. But I always regret it. They're always so bloodless. Question number 7. Book, movie, or book TV adaptation you thought was horrible. Now, I have said many times on this channel that I think book to TV and book to movie adaptations get a very bad rap. They're usually quite good. But I do, of course, have many examples that aren't good. And I have a list of them here. One of them is the novel Creator by Jeremy Levin, which I've mentioned on this channel before. I think it's great. I think it's a great novel. It was made into a very entertaining movie starring Peter O'Toole and Mariel Hemingway. And I liked it. I liked the movie. But it doesn't come anywhere close to the weird, profuse, confusing imagination of the novel. And the same thing is true of Winter's Tale by Mark Halperin, a novel that I just read and loved. I think it's just fantastic. And it was made recently into a movie that had a couple of good moments, but there's no way. It's one of those books where there's just no way that I can think of. There's no way that anyone could do the book justice. And also, to talk a little more loosely of source material, one of the ironies of my love of book-to-movie adaptations is that some of my favorite fictional characters are very seldom or never done well. Superman, for instance, has never been done well on the big screen. Never. And Tarzan, even worse. Tarzan has never been done well on the big screen. I went to see the new movie with Alexander Skarsgård. I went to see it in hopes that, where it's in 2016, we're in the age of literary adaptations, we're in the age of fan service adaptations, where you don't take enormous liberties with the text, where you give the fans what they love about the written material, only you translate it into visual. And the movie had great visuals, but no. It's and even Sherlock Holmes. I have seen 10 bad Sherlock Holmes adaptations for every one I've seen that had even something in it that was good. These iconic characters of mine, these characters that I absolutely love, that just strike out on the big screen. But there's hope. And question number 8, the last one, a book that got you into a huge reading slump. And this is a conversation we should have someday, BookTube. I don't have reading slumps, and neither should you. You have about 10 more minutes to be alive. In no time at all, literally like that. You're going to be sitting somewhere saying, I remember when I was young and making BookTube videos. It feels like 5 minutes ago, but I don't have any blood pressure anymore. I've had 2 operations since then. I've lost everyone I've loved that I thought I couldn't live through losing. I have a whole bunch of new people in my life. I can't walk up a flight of stairs. I have X, Y, or Z diagnosis. That's going to happen to you, and it's going to happen to you in about 10 minutes. You don't have time for reading slumps. They are an unbelievably bratty self-indulgence. Just move on. Just find another book. at least that's my view of things. I don't have reading slumps. No book has ever provoked one in me. No book has ever needed to get me out of one. There are way too many books to justify a reading slump. 250,000 books a year in America alone. Another 250,000 books in the UK. And that's not even counting the rest of the world and untranslated material and all the stuff I haven't read. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. I don't have reading slumps. I don't have time for reading slumps. Well, that's it. That is the book struggles tag, and there could have been a lot more questions. But I don't know who's done this tag. I'm going to tag a few people, but I want to hear from everybody, because this is just the sort of thing. This subject, your life as a reader. Oh, I just love it. I eat it right up. So I want to tag, first of all, Cameron from Book Movie Guy, who has tentatively returned to BookTube. Absolutely, tag him. Reading with Pugs, the young ladies from the restricted section. Jack the Bibliophile. I'd love to hear his answers to these questions. Jess from Revel Reads. What are your reader struggles? But anyway, that's my tag for today. Thank you, BookTube.